children will come through the doors of Crumlin. That's about 1 every 4 minutes. It's huge, and they come for varying reasons. Obviously some will come in the case of an emergency, they're coming for diagnosis, they're coming for treatment, for care, for cure, and we're there to support both people in Crumlin Hospital and in the research centre to try and make sure that they have the best possible outcomes, the best possible experience. And our grants, through supporters like SoftCo and through Ronan support, we're able to help make that happen. We're really lucky because we get to fund projects, initiatives, research and equipment that do a number of things. They help save children's lives. They help to really improve the quality of life for children who live with life-limiting or chronic illnesses, and they're also aiming to really try and make their experience when they are patients at Crumlin as positive and as good as they can be.
Robbie McNamara has been around horses all his life. He rode ponies as a young child and racehorses as a teenager. He was a very successful young jockey when a fall from a horse at Wexford Racecourse changed his life forever.
It was a run-of-the-mill fall. Horse just nodded and slid onto the ground. I landed and rolled and I was just about to curl up into a ball, and then obviously one of the other horses behind, he hit my horse and he flipped and landed on my back, and it was like getting hit by a lorry into the back. I'd say it was about 6 weeks in. It was very, very tough. I think it had set in that it wasn't spinal shock, that it was the real deal. They've helped me along the way, and like that with the bars, they got the bars for me, and the wheelchair they've paid for that, and it's a brilliant fund, and very, very lucky that it's in place and some good people running it.
We cover all types of riders who have had injuries, and unfortunate injuries which can very much happen in the sport as it is, and we provide equipment like with John Joe, but also financial support for families, and hopefully into the future training for jockeys and people when they finish riding to be able to take a different career after the riding's finished. So that's probably our purpose. But for that we depend on the public support, because we are funded by donation and by public support to running various functions for us.
My name is Dr. Paul Fields. I'm a consultant hemato-oncologist and work at Guy's and St Thomas's Hospital in London. My specialist area of interest is the treatment of lymphomas, particularly Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. We have an active research programme engaged in the use of clinical trials and academic research, particularly engaged into why conventional treatments fail and patients become resistant to conventional therapies. Our first successful collaboration with SoftCo was the establishment of a lymphoma biobank at Guy's and St Thomas's Hospital. This is critical in that it helped us to bank all malignant lymphoma patient samples, with the main effect of that being able to do future research efforts into this disease. One of the key challenges of the treatment of patients with cancer is, unfortunately, many patients with cancer are chemo-refractory. What that means is that conventional treatments such as chemotherapy and radiotherapy no longer work in these patients. In order to make progress in the future, new avenues of treatment are urgently required. Immunotherapy is the harnessing of using one's own immune system to recognise cells such as cancer cells as foreign and eliminate them. CAR T-cell therapies are an example of this, whereby T-cells are removed from the patient and modified and then re-injected back into the patient to recognise those cancer cells as foreign and eliminate them. Sometimes CAR T-cell therapies don't always work, and the reason for this is that when CAR T-cells are infused into patients, they may interact with the cells that surround tumour cells, the so-called microenvironment. The microenvironment is important because it contains factors that feed tumour cells and help them grow. Equally, it also contains factors that are sometimes switched off, and it inhibits tumour cells and stop them growing. What is important is that we try and gather understanding of how CAR T-cell therapies or other immune therapies interact with these microenvironment cells in order that we can help better effect treatments to kill the tumour cells. We are delighted that SoftCo are providing the early funding into research into the interactions between immune therapies and the microenvironment. We undoubtedly think that the results that arise from this research will help optimise these therapies for future generations to come.